Cool and all, but we got court now. We got court. We got court. Lawyer Trey in the building. Come on now. Lawyer Trey in the building. I am representing Diddy himself. All right, let's lock in real quick.
We have a brand new evidence drop from the government as they make their case in the sex trafficking and racketeering trial of
Why they got my mans like that?
Sean Diddy Combs. These are new pictures from inside Combs' Miami mansion from one.
That nigga living like that? Nah. I get this out. I better get paid.
It was raided by federal agents in March 2024. From risque adult toys and high heels to guns, ammo, and drugs. We'll show you what they have and how it lines up with what's playing out in court in New York. We'll also tell you the shock.
What do you want? I love you. You a legend. Quiet and I eat Puff Daddy? Love Daddy.
Messages written in lipstick found on Diddy's bathroom mirror. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. We have a lot to unpack because we just received
so big though.
Dozens of pieces of evidence that the government has in their case against Sean Diddy Combs. These are pictures from the day they raided his house in Miami. Now, these appear to be what federal agents found inside that Miami mansion in March 2024. You can see some of the pictures they sent us of this mansion, just an extravagant, luxurious home on the water in an exclusive community in South Florida. Agents also raided one of Combs's.
Okay, so I don't have anything yet, but let me see the evidence that they have.
Homes in Los Angeles, and those raids played a key part in arresting Combs in September 2024, then getting us to the trial that is now playing out in federal court in New York. Now, this is a sketch.
This shit smell good. I know.
From today, as the federal agent who is in charge of the Miami raid presented pieces of evidence and testified. This is a sketch of him showing the jury one of the guns taken from the Miami house.
Obviously, the gun is not Diddy's. That is a secret agent's gun that they planted in my client's house. Obviously, Judge, Your Honor, the shit is fake. It's fake. It's fake. It's not his gun. Obviously not his gun.
Now, along with pieces of evidence.
Damn, that's a lot of baby oil. Fuck. I don't know how to. He's running an orphanage for abandoned babies in his mansion. And that's why he has a lot of baby oil. Why it's next to the Astroglide? I think you need to store it at the same temperatures and the same, shit. That's why.
Like this. Dozens of bottles of Astroglide lubricant that was allegedly used in Diddy's freak-offs that reportedly included male escorts, drugs, and his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura. We also have some new pictures of Ventura. This is one of her.
Goddamn.
With Don Richard, who's the former Danity Kane member who testified this.
Objection! What is the relevance? What is the relevance?
Week that she had witnessed Combs assault Cassie multiple times. In this picture, you see Cassie on the right. Richard testified that Cassie wore glasses to hide the swelling after Combs allegedly hit her in the face.
It don't look like she got hit. Nah, let me chill. Let me chill on that. She probably did get hit, and prayers out to Cassie. Prayers out to Cassie. But we're not on trial for domestic violence. You guys are trying to accuse my client of being a sexual predator. A sex trafficker, as you name it.
was in New York in 2009. Other pictures show some of the injuries that the government alleges Cassie suffered at the hands of the now disgraced music mogul. We are blurring the bruises in these pictures. These are sensitive images about a sensitive topic, and also because of the rules of YouTube. Now we see in this image here, there is a bruise on Cassie's leg. We have another picture where there's a small bruise on her shoulder. This is a picture that shows Ventura with a dark bruise that's below her waistline.
I watched the video when I was young and innocent.
All of these have been already presented to the jury. Ventura testified in court that she was the victim
Pop, I really miss you.
of years of abuse at the hands of Sean Combs. She also admitted to taking part and sometimes helping organize these freak-offs. Sometimes they were hours long. They were sex parties that involved drugs. They involved escorts. And the new evidence shows a lot of what potentially went into these sex parties. Before we get back to this story and the new evidence we have in the case against
this nigga said this is what the baby oil is for. Justin Bieber's 48 hours with Diddy. Why? Ah, man.
As soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you rock this every time you come to LA. Yeah, this gonna be yours. So every time you come to LA, it's a little dusty, but you know, come get the front shot.
Wait, 48 hours with Diddy. Why was he?
Man. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna be driving this next year.
Yeah, when you get 16, you come down, you got, you know, wear your seat.
I mean, I'm 15. You can drive in the passenger seat. I got my permit. No, that not yet.
No.
All right, 16.
No,
16.
let's slow down.
Okay.
Let's slow down.
One step at a time.
But yeah, the keys is yours when you get 16. You good to go.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
All right.
Then when you get 18, you get the house. Get the mansion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mansion. Yeah. So where are we off to now?
Where'd you like to go?
I mean, wherever you want to go. Where
So check this out, yo.
All right. I don't want to represent Diddy no more. Let me prosecute this bitch ass nigga. We gotta get
Justin,
this nigga Diddy up
you
out
ever
of
seen
here.
the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like Usher, when you know, he did his first album, I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So, and we gonna go buck full, crazy.
We're going crazy.
Crazy.
I'm taking this out tonight.
What you wanna do? What you wanna do over the next 48 hours?
48 hours. Let's go. Let's just go get some girls. Let's go get some girls.
Man after my heart. That's what I'm talking about. Kid.
Hey Diddy, you cut that check. I'll stay on your side, nigga. I'll make sure you get out of jail, nigga.
and Sean Diddy Combs.
Nah, me as that nigga lawyer, that nigga is definitely going to jail.
I want to bring you a law and
I'ma just
crime
be
legal
honest.
alert, because if you receive
Nah, look at this mouth. He doesn't even know.
a Depo-Provera birth control shot, and then you were later diagnosed with a brain or spinal tumor called meningioma, you may be eligible for a lawsuit. Morgan & Morgan is investigating
What the fuck is this?
the name of the adult toy. It is too graphic to say, but it appears to be an adult toy that's used for oral sex. Now then, there are several bottles of Astroglide lubricant. This came up in
It's all happening too fast.
What, you nervous about
Nigga get hit with an ad right
The
before
wedding?
we get into the greasy shit. My nigga, come on, bro. Never paying for YouTube Premium.
in court multiple times this week in testimony. Diddy's former personal assistant said he would go buy Astroglide along with baby oil, condoms, and prophylactics during his time working for Diddy. Then there was the testimony of a male escort named Sheree Hayes. In his line of work, he went by the name The Punisher. He laid out
This nigga name was the Punisher? What the fuck? What the fuck? What, bro? What? What I recall is a man was nude, but I could not see his face. There was like, I don't know what to call it. It was like what Muslim women wear, where the face is covered completely in a veil. You can only see the eyes. It was a nude male with one of those veils on, and I could see he had what I saw as a bottle of Astroglide he was carrying.
what he said happened during freak-offs he was allegedly hired to be part of. He claimed that Combs entered the room in an instant only wearing what seemed like a Muslim hijab, carrying Astroglide. The Punisher said he noticed it because of the purple cap, which we do see.
Why is we calling this nigga the Punisher though?
In the government evidence photos,
Why is we
and he
calling
explained
this
that it was
nigga
sexual
the
lubricant. He
Punisher?
also said he had no communication with Combs during the freak-off as he wore allegedly that veil over his face and nothing more. The government is also submitting several images that show drugs that were seized from the house in Miami. Here's a picture of some of that evidence laying on top of a Gucci designer bag. We have had to blur a lot of the drugs because of the rules of YouTube, but I'm going to describe for you what we see. This is a picture of a Ziploc bag that has several different kinds of pills. Some of them are pink, white, blue. There's also a rolled up $100 bill right next to that bag. In another plastic bag, there are more pills. These seem to be two separate kinds as well. Some are white.
This nigga Diddy been partying since like the 80s and 90s, so that nigga probably has done all types of drugs, bro.
Some are yellow. Then there are orange and pink pills you see here that, according to the Homeland Security Special Agent who is testifying today, that's the party drug MDMA. It's similar to ecstasy. This is according to the Homeland Security Special Agent who testified today about what they saw in Miami during this raid. Now, we don't get descriptions in the evidence drops to tell you exactly what these pills are, but when it comes to drugs, Combs' former assistant, David James, testified this week that Diddy allegedly took drugs every day when he worked for him. Specifically, throughout the day, he would take Percocets and then switch to ecstasy at night. Then there
Why, bro? What
is this picture. It's a small alleged container of cocaine.
I never understood this nigga, bro. You are a billionaire. Why are you doing this shit, bro? Like, why not become like Batman or like do some like cool shit? Why are you taking drugs all day and fucking men and beating on women? Like what are we doing here? Bro, no.
The government
I'm not
found
watching that.
it with a rolled up dollar bill next to it. That cocaine has a label on it that says DBL Wash.
Nigga talking about Meek Mill and Diddy audio.
Agents also found this green locked heavy duty container. It says Diddy right across the front. And then this picture shows what it appears they found inside, which includes 2 large bags of marijuana. Along with the bags of drugs and the adult toys that agents found during this raid, they also found several weapons inside.
Damn, that nigga got a watch. I need me a watch. I need me a watch. Ugh, my wrist empty as shit.
The home. Here's a picture of a handgun they found. You might remember that sketch from earlier, the special agent presenting it to the jury today. There's also a magazine and bullets that appear to go with that style of firearm. Then there are pieces to AR-15 rifles like this. The government says the serial numbers on those guns, this one with a skull and crossbones on it, have been defaced. Then there's another AR-15. That one has a biohazard logo on it. That also has a defaced serial number, according to the special agent who took the stand.
These niggas wiping off the serial numbers and all types of shit.
A few final pieces of evidence also caught our eye. Take a look at this. These are containers of vital honey powder. It's a powder that's used for sexual enhancement. According to the
Vital honey powder. Huh. So this is the shit that niggas need instead of that fucking them honey packs. This the real honey pack. This the real honey pack. Let me write this shit down real quick. I'm gonna need this eventually. Vital honey pack. Honey. Got Arabic letter. Wait, what did it say? With caviar, Kevlar, and Cat Ali powder. Oh, I heard of that before. Okay. So that's how you have the stamina for the freak offs. You know what I'm saying? Nigga like me, I put the dick in. I'm done like 2 strokes in. Sure, you're looking at me like you nutted already. I'm like, yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. But like with this shit, then he just put a nigga on. I'm going all night. Just fucking talking about
the FDA. In fact, the agency actually advised people not to buy this stuff in 2022 because it contains the same active ingredient as Cialis, which you need a prescription for. Then there is this wide picture of a bathroom in Diddy's house. And you can see what looks like lipstick or marker written on this mirror. One of the messages reads, "What do you want?" And below it reads, "Love you, love Diddy." Then there's also another message that says, "You are legend and breathe." Combs' trial is expected to last roughly 7 weeks. He is charged with racketeering, sex trafficking by force, and transportation to engage in prostitution. He has pleaded not guilty. Joining us now is former Assistant U.S. Attorney for the Eastern and Southern District of New York, where this case is being tried, Barrett Berger. Thank you for taking the time to be with us here on Law and Crime. There's been a lot of...
The nigga was getting charged with domestic violence. Send that nigga to jail now. Now. But paying sex workers to have sex and flying them out across state lines, I don't think that deserves, like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like,
talk.
The nigga is a freaked out ass nigga. Yes. Yes. Is he a woman beater? Yes. And he deserves to go to hell for that shit. He deserves to get his ass beat for that. Yes. Yes. But flying out sex workers is like, that's illegal now. If that's the case, all these athletes, all these influencers, all these niggas needs to go to jail now because they be flying out bitches all the time to fuck them. See, nigga, when you broke, you don't got those problems. I ain't got no money to fly out a bitch. See what I'm saying? I can't fly a bitch out right now.
About Sean Combs's drug use over the past couple of days. What stands out to you in that testimony?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is actually turned into a pretty central part of the prosecution's case. So the allegations that make the drug use particularly relevant are that this is one way that Combs exerted control over both Cassie Ventura.
Oh, so they saying that he using the drugs against their will. Okay, so I retract my statement. I fuck Diddy. Fuck Diddy. Fuck everything about Diddy. Fuck him. Fuck him. Fuck him. I stand with nothing he did.
And potentially other victims as well. We haven't heard from them yet. But part of the way that he was able to make Cassie compliant during these freak-offs, we learned this from her testimony, is through the use of drugs. So Cassie testified that for many of the—
Okay, so out of all the freak-offs they had that they've indulged themselves in, Cassie was never like sober and like agreeing to the shit, like not one time.
freak-offs, she was high. She was given a number of different narcotics. We had other witnesses that came in and testified about seeing her, laying on a bed, appearing to be under the influence of some sort of drugs. So this was what we're seeing now is a pattern of Combs being able to, in some instances, control her through many different ways. But one of the central ways that we've heard testimony about is through these drugs.
How do you feel the government's been able to say that Cassie was more forced to take these drugs, as opposed to she lived as a someone who is in kind of the spotlight? You live that mentality where there's drugs that's always around, showing that she was actually forced to take it, as opposed to something that she just did willingly.
Yeah, and this is what the defense has really made as the centerpiece of their defense, that none of this was.
So they proposing that Cassie was a contributor to this shit. Like she wasn't forced to do nothing that she didn't want to do, huh?
Forced or coerced behavior. This was all, activity that she did voluntarily, that she wanted access to this lifestyle. She wanted access to his power, to the fame. And so she did these things voluntarily. I think what the prosecutors have to show is that there was not only this huge power dynamic between the
So how do you
two of them, right? He is this.
How do you prove that she was a volunteer for the shit? It's easy to show that she's a victim and she was forced to do it by like showing the domestic violence shit, showing the power dynamic that he be beating her ass, he forced her to do some of this shit, and like the power dynamic, yes. But like, how, if you trying to defend yourself, how do you defend yourself against this shit? Like, no, she wanted to do. Damn, my nose is big as shit. I'm just not realizing that. Damn. Nigga got a sniffer on his ass. My shit ain't as big as hers though.
Multi-million-dollar music magnate, and she is an aspiring singer who really wants to be in that orbit. There's an age dynamic. She was very young when they first started dating, but also this, elements of violence and control. So I don't think that they have to show that every time she took drugs, it was.
Nah, they did my man's bogus. Why they pay his ball spot though? They did not have to do that.
Was involuntary. As long as they can show that there were certain instances where she didn't want to, or that Combs was particularly insistent on this, or that this was something that he was really pushing. So they do have to connect this to this pattern of coercion and control, but they don't have to necessarily say that every time she took drugs, it was totally against her will.
And he of course, a larger than life figure, has endless.
My suit better than this nigga's.
Amounts of money. So in some ways, I could see someone saying it's not a surprise that he had just so many drugs in his home, as well as some of the other, baby oil's been talked about at length in this case. But
are you laughing? Laughing at another nigga's sexual orientations?
Were you surprised by just
that nigga like the fuck the baby oil bottle?
How much it was talked about that apparently he was regularly using substances, that he himself was someone.
That nigga looks exactly like Kai right here. Somebody gotta say it.
who
Nah,
partook
that nigga Kai and Diddy got to do a DNA test somehow. Like, they got to be related somehow.
in these drugs a
Both from New
lot.
York. You know, like, big ass forehead, same complexion.
According to people who were around him.
Yeah, I mean,
How much should good car insurance cost you a month? $80?
Is this a joke? I don't even have a car.
I mean, I think it's surprising for many of us to hear about how pervasive that was and how much of a factor in their lifestyle this was. But, one thing that's interesting to me is it really goes to this idea of what kind of a network he had around him. He was certainly not able to get all these drugs on his own. He had assistants and guards and people that worked with him that were able to help him procure drugs on a regular basis.
All right. Let me see what else. I guess this is it. Diddy probably did it. Diddy did it. Diddy did it.